Hey guys, it's Dr. Justin Marcagiani here. Today we're going to be chatting about natural solutions to address sore throats. I'm ready to dive in. We'll talk about what's happening underneath the hood and things you can do to help improve the inflammation, help you feel good. Before we dive in, make sure you smash that like button. Really appreciate the thumbs up. Put your comments down below. Let me know things that have helped you with sore throats in the past. And in case you didn't know it, I'm actually having a little bit of a sore throat now, and I'll tell you the things that I naturally do to help get that under control. All right, so first thing, sore throat, what's causing it? Usually there's some kind of bacterial or viral component that's behind a sore throat, right? Whether it's strep or whether it's some kind of a bacteria or some kind of a rhinovirus or cold virus, whatever it could be, right? These things can create inflammation in the mucosa. Of course, overusing your throat, right? Yelling, singing inappropriately, all those things can obviously create wear and tear inflammation. That's kind of common sense stuff. We're talking about more immune stuff, right? So off the bat, we want to really do things to help, one, help relax the inflamed tissue. That's the first thing. Relax inflamed tissue. Any mucus that's kind of conglomerating around there, we want to make sure that mucus is moving so it's not just sitting there and maybe getting that tissue irritated. Or if there's yellow or greenness there, that's from the agglutination and the reaction of immune cells. So you know there's more of an infection when you start to see yellow and green mucus. That's the immune system responding and reacting, and then what you're seeing is the remnants of that in the yellow or green mucus. So that automatically tells you the infection is there. We want to keep that moving and keep that flushed out. Now, if the infection is going up the nose or the sinuses, we want to do really good sinus rinse with xylitol and sodium bicarbonate and really good minerals to keep that flushing. You can do a Neti Exfoliator product. You can add a little bit of iodine or even some silver to it. Just make sure the water is reverse osmosis filtered or really clean bottled water or distilled water to really keep those sinuses flushed and keep the mouth clean. Okay. For excess mucus, we can always add in some additional N-acetylcysteine, which can be very helpful at kind of drying out the mucous membrane. One of the first things I do, this is my homemade ginger tea recipe. I absolutely love it. My little I love you cup. This basically has organic ginger, a couple pieces of organic ginger in there. I juice that up, add a couple ounces of hot water. I then boil some separate hot water, right? And I put the juiced ginger basically in a Vitamix, blend it all up, a couple ounces of water so it blends, throw it into a French press, and then we add, 14, maybe 16 ounces of hot water. Pour that in the French press. I squeeze a half to a full lime, small one, you can do a full one, into the mix, and then I throw about a tablespoon of Manuka honey. And again, Manuka is very therapeutic, so it's actually used in burn units on burn victims. It's very anti-inflammatory and very healing. So if you have raw mucosa, this is wonderful, and you can just sip it all day long. This is absolutely great. Now, ginger is excellent. Ginger does a couple things. It's anti-inflammatory, so it calms the mucous membranes. Obviously, the acid in there is very good because it kind of dries it out. It will pull out any mucus. So when you swallow, you'll feel that mucus kind of pull down into your stomach and you'll digest it versus it kind of just sitting there and you just kind of feel like you're hacking something up all the time. So it really helps with that. Of course, the Manuka is very soothing. The ginger is antiviral as well. So it has antiviral qualities. It also prevents viral adhesion. Viruses have to get into the cell, right? So usually it hits a receptor site on the outside of the cell. It gets in there, and then once it's in the cell, it replicates. Okay, so the ginger is antiviral. It helps decrease that cellular replication, and it also prevents the virus from adhesing onto that cell. Adhesing, that's the right word, right? Adhesing. Sticking onto that cell and then getting in. So it helps virus sticking and penetrating, and then it helps kill the virus and decrease virus replication. So it's very good. Of course, it has natural digestive effects too. It helps with the lymphatic system. It helps with anticoagulation, preventing things from being slow and stuck up. And it's anti-inflammatory. So this is wonderful, and you can make it and sip it throughout the day. And by the way, I have a little bit of a sore throat now. You would never even know it's there because I'm keeping the inflammation down. My larynx and vocal cords are not getting inflamed enough where you're noticing it in my sound. That's option number one. Option number two, I have a product I use called GI Clear 4 that has golden seal in it. It's a wonderful formula that has that in it that you can swallow. But I do love golden seal and echinacea topically. So this is a really good product by Gaia. It's echinacea golden seal, which is good. It's got some propolis too. which you'll get in some of the raw manuka honey, by the way. But what's nice in here is a decent little alcohol tincture in there too. Now, alcohol is very, we're talking not drinking, we're talking just kind of very tiny amounts of alcohol can be very helpful at one, soothing. It's kind of an anesthetic. And it's also it really helps decrease viral and bacteria in the area. It kind of really helps that. And so this is wonderful. So you can spray it. So it's got echinacea, it's got golden seal, and has a little bit of alcohol in there, very tiny amount, but it's very anti-inflammatory, and it's very antiviral, antibacterial, right? Remember back in the old Wild West movies, right? They used a bottle of tequila or vodka, right, to help clean and sterilize a wound because it's very cleaning. It helps kill bacteria. So if we have bacteria or we have any issues in regards to viruses, it can be very helpful. So a couple of sprays every hour. And you just topically hit it. So you're spraying it and it's going right on the back of that throat, which is very helpful. Definitely not the best tasting though. So that's helpful. You could also get a nice glass of clean like Tito's vodka or a really good clean whiskey and just sip it gently. It's not meant to drink it in bulk. It's just meant to kind of coat it, have an anesthetic effect. And again, alcohol too much can also compromise the immune system. So we're talking a very light, gentle coating, more for medicinal, antibacterial, antiviral, anesthetic purposes than anything else. But so ginger tea is number one. Topical is wonderful, good as well. Another one is a really good zinc lozenge. Just got to be careful. You got to watch the amount of sugar that are in these. So this one's a pretty good one. This is a zinc citrate. It's sweetened with a little bit of sorbitol, which is a sugar alcohol. Doesn't really affect the blood sugar as much. And this is a zinc citrate. So I'll do like a zinc citrate or a glycinate or a picolinate. These are all fine. These are all good. And you can do, one or two every hour. Depends on how high you want to go. You can go acutely for a couple days, 100 to 200 milligrams. On average, probably between 100 milligrams and 50 is probably good acutely, right? And zinc topically is very anti-inflammatory. Zinc helps decrease virus replication. So it's very, very good at helping to decrease the viruses from replicating. So zinc's excellent. So zinc is really good on top of that. Next, I have another immune support product called Immunosupreme that I use. That's in my line, but there's a couple things that are in there that's really good. Andrographis is wonderful. Echinacea is excellent. Monolaurin's very good as well, okay? Antiviral qualities, it digests the viral envelope. Another couple things that are in there that I use is Rishi or medicinal mushrooms are excellent. Rishi does things like enhance the natural killer cells, which help activate or kill viruses, and also has things called triterpenes, which help deactivate viruses. So triterpenes are wonderful, and of course the 1,3-beta glucan in there, which are very good, very immunomodulating, really supporting the immune system. So a good blend like an Immunosupreme is wonderful. Okay, Echinacea, golden seal, Andrographis, astragalus, very, very good. Let's see what else do I have here that is really good. Of course, you can do vitamin C and vitamin A are wonderful. On top of that, vitamin A helps with preventing viruses from going into the receptor sites and replicating. And vitamin A also is antiviral as well. It's very, very supportive. And cod liver oil is a wonderful source of that. Also, liver is a great source of that too. And you can also do higher dose vitamin C as well, which is excellent. So my big ones out of the gates, though, I've had great success with is the ginger tea. Just get some organic ginger from your health food store, brew that up, like I mentioned, manuka, lime, you're ready to go. Zinc lozenges, really good out of the gates. And go to your health food store and get a topical spray that goes right in the back of your throat. And ideally something with a little bit higher alcohol content because that will also anesthetize. It has antibacterial qualities too. And of course, clean filtered water. I'll drink a little bit of Topo Chico with some lime throughout the day. That's wonderful. And then, of course, really good, clean, filtered water. And you can always maximize things like your vitamin D as well. So want to give you some topical things to kind of work on it, as well as things that are anti-inflammatory that will also support your immune system and decrease virus and bacterial issues as well. And again, if things get bad, you may have to see your conventional doc to deal with some kind of an antibiotic if you have to go that far. Hopefully not. Other things I do is I also take a little bit of hydrogen peroxide, gargle with that a couple times a day, spit it out. That's really good as well. And you can do the same for silver. You can gargle with silver too, and you can swallow silver if you like. Make sure it's a really clean silver. You don't want issues with argyria, but 10 ppm on silver or less is going to be fine. Very clean, small particle size. Your body will have no problem flushing it out. All right, hope you guys are enjoying today's content and it all makes sense to you and you're applying it. That's the most important thing. If you want to dive in deeper, natural health, functional medicine solutions, hormones, gut, thyroid, whatever, click down below. You'll find my link. Make sure you subscribe, share this link with family and friends that could benefit during the winter season. All right, let me dive into some questions. Glad you're doing that, Kathy. Hope you're doing well. Let me dive in here on YouTube here too. Okay. What do we got? Okay, a couple of patient questions here. Yep. Okay, a couple of patient questions here. Nothing really relevant to today's topic, y'all. All right, anything else, feel free, put it down below. We'll hit it later. In general, if you have gut issues going on, a lot of the herbs that we use on some of the gut programs I do tend to be antibacterial, antiviral too. Things like olive leaf, really good antiviral. Things like monolaurin, really good antiviral. I would say golden seal, very good. Any berberines, very good, excellent for supporting bacteria and such as well. So those are all really good things. Oil of oregano, right? People that are on candida or yeast programs, oil of oregano can be antibacterial, anti-yeast, antiviral. If you're using an antibacterial herb, just make sure that you're doing probiotics afterwards. Like if you're doing a lot of systemic antibacterials, make sure you come in there with some probiotics so you don't create any rebound overgrowth. Yeah, that's really important. Oh, Kathy, regarding the medication that you are mentioning in the Facebook chat, I do like that. I think there's a lot of benefit for you know what that we can't talk about. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. You guys take